Welcome. We have today Eddie Jelinet, a local artist here in Long Beach that has been gracious enough to give us an interview about his art. Hi, Eddie. Thanks for letting us allow to ask you some questions.
Hi, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Okay, let's start with your origins. You were commissioned a mural at an elementary school in Tijuana, Mexico when you were only 10. Most kids that age don't get that much responsibility. How did that come about?
It came out of the Art Institute, went to see my work in the local school and they picked me to do a mural.
What was the mural about?
The mural was about Nezahualcóyotl. It comes from our Aztec roots.
Your website mentions that you studied painting and art history at the Cultural Institute of Mexicali, but you also have mentioned that your true passion came when you researched the library on your own. What was the difference about the two ways you were exposed to art history?
When you go to our Art Institute, I guess they show you technique, they show you how to mix colors, they show you all what it comes with the technique part of the art. But when I decided to take art seriously, to paint, I went to libraries and I decided to sit down and search through all the art, ages and styles, painters, and I think there's something really important when you do that, because your brain start seeing so much art from different perspectives that your brain start mixing ideas and combining. And now when I see an image, for example, my mind just turns automatically in my own style.
You quoted Einstein saying that imagination is more important than knowledge. But wouldn't you say that knowledge about art actually stimulated your imagination?
Yeah, I think they go from hand to hand from each other. Like, for example, talent is nothing without hard work. And I think technique is nothing without imagination. And imagination is nothing without technique. So I think they complement each other.
You also have said that the artist is just an instrument that the art uses to express itself. But does it still uses the experiences and identity of the artist to do so?
Art is an energy that you can't see, but it used you as an instrument to manifest in something material. It's something very mysterious. It's like spirituality, they all go hand by hand. Like, artists have to have certain kind of spirituality to, let guide that imagination. And I think everything is like a circle of life. You have to have everything in life. Spirituality, you have to have sexuality, you have, you have to have all the components to make a whole circle in your life.
The Mexican border was affected by a violent environment brought up by the drug wars during the 80s and 90s. Did that influence your art in any way?
The problems that that affect society and affects our community, it does reflect, and it does influence us and inspire us to do some work. When it's good people in power, bad people in power, I think everything influences.
Also, Mexican iconography as Frida Kahlo, Selena, as well as references to the Day of the Dead are often used on some of your artwork. Can you tell us a little bit of its significance related to your background?
When you are in a foreign country, I think you hold more to your roots. You hold on more to your culture because you miss that. It's something that you always going to be attached to, and you miss it. So and it's a lot of influences of like Mexican artists, not only Mexican, like Central American, South American artists that inspire us to do work. And I'm talking about in general to all the artists, like, for example, musicians like Selena, Jose, all those artists, Juan Gabriel. When you listen to music, it totally inspires you to do some kind of like artwork.
You moved to the United States in the 2000s. Will you share with us like the reasons?
Like every person that comes to this country, we come to look for a better future, a better opportunities. In our country, sometimes it's hard to accomplish things because the economy is bad. Government, they support different things.
How do you think your experience as an immigrant has influenced your art in other ways?
When you look back, you see how rich our culture is, how huge the background of our culture and all our people is. So it's influence. How I said before, you hold on to those roots, you hold on to that culture that you miss, and it's totally you see inspiration in everywhere you go. Like you can be walking on the street and if you hear a mariachi play, it's not just a mariachi you see an artist playing some song that you recognize. It totally in that moment hits you and inspires you to do things. So I think it's totally in your blood. It's just it comes through your pores. When you feel inspired to your own culture.
Has the reaction to political environments like the Trump presidency in any way been reflected in your work?
We had a few hard years with the Trump administration. I try not to go too much in politics, but it definitely was affecting my people. It was affecting my community, so it direct affect us to all of us. But we keep the positive mind. Thanks God, we are at different times now, and we keep like working and fighting for what we want. Not for only me personally, but for the people that is surround us.
You have been part of several exhibitions featuring gay artists hosted by Tom of Finland Foundation and Queer Pile Up. Has the identity as a gay man been reflected in your artwork?
Yeah, it's definitely. It's like everything is part of yourself. I think be open. It helps a lot of doors and it helps a lot of people. If you can help other people with your work, I think that's very important. And it's just the freedom, like come to this country and find the freedom of accept who you are and do what you love. I think that's one of the most important things.
One of your paintings showcases a wedding where the characters can be characterized as androgynous. Was this piece influenced at all by the gay marriage discussion going on at the time?
Yeah, I mean, it's of course it's an artistic inspiration. I was inspired by a film from the 70s to do that specific piece, but it definitely reflects all the conflicts and all the you know the struggle that we've been struggling for many years about the human rights, and not only in one specific category, in all the categories we've been fighting for human rights.